Williams here. Speaking of horses, we're in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we are here at the Hoosier Horse Fair at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. We've been here all weekend, and we've got some great things to show you. So here's some highlights from the Hoosier Horse Fair. Some great entertainers, some great clinicians, the likes of Richard Schrake, Russ Crotchin, Tommy Turvey, Chantel Turvey, all here and all performing and doing things here at the Hoosier Horse Fair. So right now, let's take a look around and see what's going on. Hoosier Horse Fair 2015.
Horse business and hadn't been run out or quit or got burned out. He's the guy that's got the reputation that's broken. And the best way to do that is to talk to people who bought horses from him. Does that make sense? And they're easy to find. You know, just say, tell me a little bit about your background. What horses have you been able to, and if they've been in it 10 years, 20 years, I'll tell you the kind of people you want to have to go help you find that horse.
A Richard Schrake lecture right here.
We need to know the purpose, we need to know a little bit about yourself, we need to know about the horse, and then go to reputable people, learn your skills really well, and when you put all those things together, then you find that horse that's going to be that lifetime friend. I'll tell you what.
You know, somebody that's almost a mainstay here anymore is Mr. Bob Wagner. And Bob comes and does clinics, he does Dutch oven cooking, he does a lot of things here at the Hoosier Horse Fair. And Bob is back again this year. He's literally doing Dutch oven cooking again. But right now, I know he's big on packing, not just packing mules, packing horses, and does a nice touch with that. So let's catch just a little bit of Bob's clinic on how to prepare your horse or mule to pack. Let's watch.
Some recreational packing. Now, these saddles are a lot like Fords and Chevys. Depending on the part of the country you're from, will just about dictate or dictate which kind of saddle you'll use. North Carolina, Georgia, southeastern states, they're big sawbuck people. Bag and box. Okay? They like the sawbuck saddle quite a bit. You get out west, depending on what state you're in, it depends on what kind of predicate which of these two you will use. Montana, Decker all the way. If you're not using a Decker saddle, you probably don't know what you're doing. Okay? You get over to Washington and Idaho, they use a lot of sawbuck saddles. They also use the Decker. They're kind of interchangeable. California uses a lot of sawbuck. That's not to say one is any better than the other. What it does say is it's kind of like Ford and Chevy. You're going to either like the Ford or you're going to like the Chevy. For me, in particular, I'm a Decker guy. The difference between the two, the Decker requires you to be able to tie knots, and you can haul a lot more or different types of cargo. Again, the old sawbuck is a bag and baggage type saddle, a box and baggage type saddle. They use that a lot in the northwestern part of the country when they were mining, gold mining. And the freighters would use these to haul supplies in and bring the gold ore out. Okay, they simply hang the bags on there and bring them out. Now the difference is, back then, they didn't run a string of 8 mules or 8 horses or something like that. They may have a packer or a freighter, and he might have 2 wranglers, and they could be running 35 to 50 head, and they would simply turn loose and they would follow them up the trail. Okay, so the mules didn't eat if they didn't follow the food. Okay, so they went pretty much where the lead horse went. All right. Now, later on, when they started using these for a lot of outfitting, they got them down to where there's only 8 mules in a string now, and you'll normally find that the lead man will be taking 4 of them, then you'll have a wrangler with the next 4, okay? It's just a little easier to handle in the back country. What you need to know to get your horses started is that, or mules, don't get me wrong, I'm a horse person. I pack horses, okay? That's not bad. It may not be great, but it's not bad. Mules are much smarter, mules are much stouter, heavier frame, they'll carry more weight. What I'm getting at here is, you as a recreational packer, please don't go out and buy a whole bunch of animals that you think you need to have to pack. You can pack what you own. All right? Now, rule number 1. Don't pack the most chicken-brained animal you can find just because you can't ride him. Okay? If you can't ride him, you probably don't want to put propane in your eggs on him either. Okay? So, make sure that you have smart animals. Alright? Most of my horses pack and ride. That way, if my saddle horse goes bad, I can get on the pack horse, simply switch saddles, I get on that pack horse and ride him out of there and feel comfortable that I'm going to do it.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Hudson, owner and founder of Rocking Jay-Z Ranch Products. We're extremely proud to be a part of the Hoosier Horse Fair this year in 2015. This is our first time exhibiting here at the Hoosier Horse Fair, and wanted to tell you a little bit about our product, the Aqua Clear Stock Tank Injection System. It is an algicide injector, and it helps really break down the buildup of algicide in your stock tanks outdoors. Not only does it prevent algae, but if you have algae start to grow, it'll attack that algae and get rid of it. So as you introduce new water, it'll start bringing that contaminated water out and clear up all the water for your animals to drink out of. Our unit can be configured in many different ways. You can mount it on a fence post, you can mount it up to 50 foot away from your water source. So, I mean, the options are endless when it comes to mounting it. It is a 110 volt power source. It holds approximately 2 quarts of liquid, giving you, for a 100-gallon tank, 60 days of uninterrupted algae control. If you had a 200-gallon tank, you'd be looking at about 30 days of uninterrupted algae control. So, in terms of just getting down there the old-fashioned way and having to dump your tank out and scrub it with all the harmful chemicals and all the bleach and everything, with this unit, that can all be eliminated. You don't have to do that anymore. But the environmental benefits, if you're on county water, it'll really cut your water bill down too. A rural water customer, we all know how the economy is with inflation. Each year it seems like water bills just keep rising. So this product really has a huge impact across the board. I mean, it'll help from point A to point Z to give you healthier animals, a more convenient lifestyle at RockingJZRanchProducts.com. We are on Facebook as well. To start pre-ordering your unit, you can visit us at our website. We are on Facebook as well. You can email us at customerinfo@RockingJZRanchProducts.com. And we hope to hear from all of you soon.
Hey, we're here at the Hoosier Horse Fair, speaking of horses, and I'm really happy to be standing here by Mr. Tommy Turvey, and have worked many years different places with Tommy. So first, welcome, and what's new with Tommy? What's new on the horizons? There's always something new you're doing.
I know there's first of all, I must say the reason why I'm not shaving here is because I have a part in a movie. It's actually a pretty good part with dialogue and a reoccurring role. It's called The Underground. It's about the underground slavery. We're filming in New Orleans Wednesday. This coming up Wednesday.
So you're in makeup, so to speak. Yeah?
Sort of say. If I was to shave this and show up on the set Wednesday and they didn't see this, they would be pretty upset.
Well, that's new. I mean, you've done over your career, you've done quite a few movies, right?
I have, and I have had a couple of speaking roles, not speaking roles, but I've said a couple of words before I've gotten shot or killed, but this is actually, I don't get killed in this movie, a TV series, and hopefully it's a reoccurring role that they'll keep bringing me back throughout the season.
Well, I got to ask you, because one of the movies that I watched that you did quite a bit in was Larry the Cable Guy's movie about Witless Protection Program or whatever it was called. And you were a polo player, right?
I was, yeah. This is the first time I ever played polo. We played polo with a ball and a broom, when we were a kid, but we actually had to play real polo on that movie.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. You do obviously you're known as for all the things you do with Poker Joe and with Ace and all of them, and your Roman riding and your tricks. But you also are a consummate trainer. You do clinics as well as the performing, and you're here at the Hoosier Horse Fair doing both, really, right?
Yes, yeah, I've been doing all three. We train. Well, we're not really training horses. Although I did have a horse that we were helping a lady yesterday. We laid the horse down for the first time and basically just took her to that next level. The horse was ready to go. She was ready to go. So I said, okay, I'll lay the horse down. Sometimes people bring me horses and I'm like, they're not really ready for me to put my hands on them because if the owner of the horse doesn't have the horse to a certain level, then it does me no good or anybody any good for me to put my hands on it and do stuff to it.
It's not ready yet.
It's not ready yet. They're not ready yet. So this Deb was her name, and she just had this horse going perfect. And I was like, give me the horse, I'll lay it down. And it's not a matter of time, but relatively quick, the horse laid down and understood what we wanted.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm standing here, too. I'm looking at your photo when you were in the Rose Parade a few years ago.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. I Roman rode stood on my two horses for the entire 7.5 miles.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
I did have the honor. I rode that parade one year, and I'll give my age away, I guess. That was in January 1 of 1979. But I rode a Palomino Silver Saddle, and my horse, we trailered horses out, actually from Indianapolis, and rode that parade that year. I know how long it is, and I know how grueling it'd be just getting ready. Just before they kick off the parade, you're already exhausted.
Well, yeah, you have to go in the pit, they call it, down there, and station yourself by... I think by 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and then you have to stay there all night, and then you have to get up, like they want you up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get you. So you really don't sleep.
Yeah.
So
I know how grueling it is,
Yeah.
but it's still a thrill to do that parade.
It is a thrill. It's good to say that you've done it once. And it was really exciting. Over almost 1 million people, they say about 700,000 people watch that live. And I was like, how can 700 people be watching it live? And after you get done with your parade, you're like, wow, there was 1 million people watching. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. You go that 5 or 7 miles or whatever ever it is. When you see it on TV, those first couple of blocks and then the turn, that first couple of blocks are the start, as you know. And then you turn and you go right straight down Colorado Boulevard, and there's just wall-to-wall people all the way.
Just to see, straight up, they put these bleachers on. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So, Tommy, what's on the horizon now? You're doing the movie, and you'll still be traveling around the horse expos, I assume.
Yeah, and, I couldn't do all this without Chantal, my wife, of course, and she's just been such a great help and an asset for me. I mean, not only in my personal life, but as a business too. And that's always been hard to find someone that you can balance your personal life with and your business
Yeah.
with as well, and she fits right in because it's what she loves to do too. She loves to do horses. She loves entertainment. She used to be a stunt woman in Canada, so now I have her. I just got this part the other day. Well, I read for the part 2 weeks ago, or about a week and a half ago, and I read for it, and I was like, I ain't gonna get it. I had to go to New Orleans for the audition, drive all the way down there, 9 hours down there just for the audition, 9 hours back, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get this. This is just crazy, Okay, and then I get the call here 4 days ago, and they said, you got the part. And I was like, I got the part? Oh,
Great.
I shaved. I better stop. And I shaved to come to this show, and I was like, oh, I can't shave no more. And then, so now I go, so she has to go. My sister Sandra, who has a CDL driver's license, she's flying in to take the rig all the way to Del Mar, California tonight. And then they're going to go to Del Mar, California, which is 2,100 miles from here, and set the horses up, and I'll work Wednesday in New Orleans, and then I fly to Del Mar, California to do Friday night rehearsal, Saturday show, and then Sunday I fly back to to New Orleans to finish my part up.
Wow. And that's that big show that goes every year there in Del Mar, right?
Yeah, it's called Night of the Horse, and
Right.
it's at the show that's going on now. It's Western Week. They have Western Week, Dressage Week. It's a huge event, but they only have one night of Night of the Horse.
And that's in the outside arena there at the track, right?
It is, but have you seen the new dome they built over it?
No, I haven't. I haven't been there since then.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. It's about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe. The whole thing is covered now. It used to not be covered.
They had covers over the stands, but not the arena.
Exactly.
Right.
Now the whole thing is covered.
Wow.
It's a beautiful, beautiful arena.
Haven't seen that.
It's
Wow.
big. I hate doing Liberty in that arena, but
Well, we appreciate you taking time to talk to us. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring Chantel in here because she's doing some things, and it's Tommy Turvey, equineextremist.net.
Chantel,
and
get over here.
We're going to bring Chantel in and talk to her a little bit. Tommy, thank you very much.
you, Wayne. Always
All
good to
righty.
see you, man.
Good to see you.
Hey, she is.
You leave me with Wayne.
Well, yes, here we go.
Hi, Wayne.
Oh, you're safe. I have reached the age in life where I'm in the safe category, okay? Anyway, this is Chantel and Turvey. You and Tommy have been married quite a few years now, right?
5 years.
Right.
Yeah, 5 years.
Now, I was just looking, and excuse me for cutting in front of you here, but just looking at this card, we were talking about not only do you perform and work with Tommy, but you now have your own little thing going on. Tell us about this.
Well, I have my own little thing, yes, at home in Georgia, Somerville, Georgia, where I invite women with their horse and a lot of women with problem horse. And we work together to find out how we can fix it and not go back in the bad behavior. We turn the bad behavior in a good one. And we have days where we have a bunch of women coming over, wine and cheese, trail ride.
I heard about the wine and cheese part, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. And we talk about horse life. It's a very fun get-together with horses out there in the mountain.
So you do that, and you're doing this one, another one. You've got one coming up real soon, right?
I have one May 24, I think.
Okay, May 24, 25.
Yes.
I thought that was April when I heard the date. I'm off a month. Okay.
No, we will be in California for
Right.
April.
Right.
Coming back, I'll have 2 clinics in Ocala and Jacksonville, but they are booked. And after that, we'll come back home. Come back home in the 24th, 25th.
Okay.
We have a wine and cheese get-together woman.
Ah,
Talk about horse.
sounds good to me. So, I've watched you perform a lot with Tommy, and you do a lot of Liberty together, and you do a great job too.
Thank you, Wayne. I have a great master. Yes.
Well, we won't tell him that you said master. We won't let that out of the bag.
Well, I have to keep the word master because I learn a lot.
Yeah.
I learn a lot.
Hey, Tommy's fantastic, but you do a great job, and I always enjoy running into you guys wherever we're at. And I guess I didn't really realize at first that you were going to be here at the Hoosier, and then, when I was setting up on Thursday, boom, I saw something, and then I saw you guys Friday morning.
It's always fun when we do a show and you're there to announce and you're there to do your interview. Always fun to see you.
Well, I appreciate it very much. So, and we will. I'd like to do a little more, maybe about promoting what you're doing with this thing with the women and of course, wine and cheese intrigues me too.
It's interesting. Yeah? You're more than welcome. Somerville, Georgia, and you can look on our website, TommyTurvey.com. I have the date for the meeting for women.
Okay.
And for private lesson.
We might just come down and film a deal around the whole thing.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Yeah,
that
would be
awesome.
fun. Chantel, it's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
All right.
Wayne.
And we're glad to run into both you and Tommy here at the Hoosier Horse Fair.
It's a very great horse show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, we're at the Hoosier Horse Fair. Stay with us right here on Speaking of Horses. Hey, speaking of horses, and we are here at Hoosier Horse Fair. And this is actually a fine Sunday morning. Greg Hirschberger is my guest. We want to talk a little bit about this METF, which is the Midwest Equine Trail Foundation. So, you're over here, the Indiana Trail Riders are there, and a lot of the booths to do with trail riding, camping, DNR, and all that stuff is in this area. But tell us about this foundation.
Okay, well, and what happened is, I've been the chairman of the board of the Indiana Trail Riders for a long time. One thing we've found over the time is funding is becoming a big thing for us for trails. And when you're in a trail riding organization, you're working on trails, you're trying to do stuff, you're not having time to raise the funds you need to be able to do your work. A group of us have got together, created a 501c3, Midwest Equine Trails Foundation. The only reason for that is to raise money for trail maintenance, construction in the Midwest here. There's just too many places that we can't raise the money.
Well, and the issues are with all states around the country now, as well as Indiana here, having issues with funding. Budget cuts, tax revenues are down, everything's down. All right. The care and maintenance of those trails, which would lead ultimately in a political situation to maybe just the closing of those trails, is a real issue. And it takes efforts like what you're doing here to pick up that slack so you can look at the government officials, the DNR, the parks, and say, we got it covered, we'll take care of these trails. We don't want them closed. We'll pitch in and help do it.
Absolutely, and that's what the trail riders have done for a long time here in Indiana. But now, as we're all getting older, where we used to do everything by hand, and now it's like we can't do it by hand, and we need the machines. But when you look at the cost of those machines, the small clubs can't go buy them. So with the foundation raising some money, getting some money to work with these and consolidate some clubs to buy a piece of machinery and share it, things like that, we're going to be able to do that. And so this foundation is to raise money, spend our time raising money so we can get this kind of stuff happening here in Indiana.
And let me say this, because you touched on a really good point, and that is, as we get older, we can't do it all by hand. We got to have equipment. We also want to recruit all of you that are younger, that like to trail ride or whatever, come get involved, because the entire industry seems to have this problem with the gray hair, okay? And we need to get younger people. We know you're out there. You're definitely out there. We need to get you involved, because, the younger people are the ones that have that extra energy that we need the machines for now.
Hi, I'm Tammy Sagerbrook. I'm here at the Hoosier Horse Fair, and this is Bob. This is where
This is Bob. Hi, Bob.
Yeah,
All right.
We're using him as a demo, so I can demonstrate the saddle pads that I make. I make badass saddle pads, and they are an adjustable, washable, non-skid material saddle pad. Stays in place while you're riding. Stays up off of the spine. You could take the inserts out, throw them right in the washing machine and wash them, and it'll change as your horse changes, as he grows. Okay, right. What I've got here is a form of a saddle tree. And if you notice, this horse's back is higher than his withers. And he's kind of mutton withers, got a big round white thing. And a lot of times people need to put their saddle on their horse with no pad on there, reach up under their saddle, find out if there's a bridging problem, if it's riding on the shoulders, whether it's hitting hard back here. Check and find out periodically, because horses change. Their body changes as they grow. So if you notice, you can't get your hand underneath here. And a lot of times that's a common problem with horses. And the bridging, it also bridges here. There's a space under here. So if you got two pressure points that hit on this horse, here and here, it's going to make that horse sore. It doesn't matter if you've got foam, a half-inch pad, an inch pad. The pressure points are still going to be the same. I've tried foam. Foam gives out over a period of time, 6 months. One season, you're done with that pad. You've got to turn around and buy a new one. I've got a stack of saddle pads a mile high at home that don't work for one reason or another. So that's why I got into making these pads. So now that we see that, here's my pad. This is a round skirt. I also have a square skirt. It's Velcroed, easy open. It comes with 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch shims, and you can shim all the way to the back. If you have a horse that has a roach back here in the back, you have a horse like this one that's down in the front. If you have one that has a spine that sticks up higher than the sides, pops right back in there. Okay. Now, after I've placed the shims in there, put the form on, okay, you've got free clearance. Even when I press down really hard and the saddle's tight, you still have free clearance. The non-skid surface on the bottom, it holds the saddle pad in place. I've had a lot of saddle pads that will fall down and go like this on the withers and be tight. This non-skid material keeps it up off of the withers. The way that it's contoured, it stays up off the horse's kidneys and back area. It doesn't rub. And I don't know if you can see it, but the spine column is tunneled. I've cut one in half. So that you can see that at no point in time does that go down on the horse's spine. And it's also, this works with any kind of saddle and also treeless saddles. The non-skid material really helps hold them in place. The treeless saddles are notorious for slipping and sliding, and these really work. Hi, well. My name's Tammy Sagerbrook, and I'm with Badass Saddle Pads, and you can get a hold of us at Badass Pads, and that's AZZ.badasssaddlepads.com.